Hello, beautiful soul family. I'm the magical medium. Welcome back to those of you who've been walking with me, and for the new people, welcome home. This is a really cool, fierce tribe. Right now, I am burning some very old, ancient cedar. We're going to clear away the energy, the clutter, away from whatever is ailing us at this time. It's individual to each of us. Today we are speaking to the first quarter moon. It's the moon in Taurus, and we are burning away and getting grounded. All you have to say is, I accept this healing, and it will come. You must accept it in your mind, in your body, in your soul. And you know, this has been burning quite quickly. And now it's taking some time to burn today, so I think it's interesting. That's why I'm even speaking in a softer tone. I feel like some of you, when I looked down, it was 108 and then turned to 109, so if that means anything to you. But I feel like for some of you, you're at a slower pace. Maybe you are a Taurus, because even though we are in the Gemini energy in this moment, in real time, it's Saturday, May 27th, 2023. We are in Gemini season. However, we are in the Taurus moon. So, we're working on grounding. As you can see before you, all of those stones, rocks, the driftwood, all of it is from the Olympic Peninsula where I live. Except for crystals that are in there. There are some crystals peppered throughout there to hold space. Moonstone peeking out right here. I feel like some of you want to see this. I feel like maybe you were looking at this. Maybe you need a moonstone. Maybe it's time to get a moonstone. Look at that. See how that? It's like an opal. Moonstones are very similar to opal with that hidden fire. We're going to be talking about hidden fire today. I didn't know it until just this moment, but we're going to be talking about hidden fire today. And I will try and here. You know what? You go where you want to go. I'm like, you go where you want to go. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. And also when I look down, it was 238. So I'm going to write that down. 238, angel number, hidden fire. And if you want to pause and go get some pen and paper, you may want to, I feel like, it's interesting, as much as I love doing the picker readings, because I really do, they're super, super fun, they're all different energy, you guys are so powerful, it's fucking cool, I love it. However, I do love the simplicity of these, because I hit the wrong thing, because they're teaching, right? Like, they're teaching all of us. We're all learning. I'm just here as the true medium, just like bringing the message, the words up front. But I'm not here to do anything but really just do that. Hold space, support. They're asking me, they may ask me to move things around. They do this sometimes. They'll have me move things around. They'll have me bring things into focus. For our scryers, we have a lot of powerful scryers in this tribe. And if you're new here, if you don't know what scrying is, it means that you see pictures or imagery in things. Rocks. It could be you're doing the dishes and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks like Mickey Mouse. You're not fucking crazy. It is. Those are your angels, your guides. They're like, it's everything. There are signs everywhere all around. We just have to look for them. They're in front of us every moment, every day. Spirit is constantly challenging us. And it's not because they hate us, that they don't love us, all this. It's the contrary. We're here to learn and we're here to grow, right? So if we're constantly, steering away from our path, there are forces that are there to help us, to steer us back on the path. We also all have spirit guides. And each of us have our own set of spirit guides. and I'm just going to use spirit guides as literally like one generic blank label, but you know, it could be gods, goddesses, everything. It could be everything. You know, those of you who know me know I'm no bullshit. You know, I speak my truth, the way I see it, the way I look at it. And for those of you who don't know me, that's okay. It may be hard for you to understand or believe, but Tina Turner has literally become one of my spirit guides. So she has also become your spirit guide. So call on Tina Turner. You know, it was so interesting because I've been like puzzled. I mean, puzzled at how much I haven't cried. And I'm like, oh, I'm just waiting for this one. I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, I know this one's gonna hit me. This is gonna hit me hard. I mean, Aretha Franklin, I was like a fucking mess for like 3 days. I did a whole entire episode. You know what? I should put that episode public because everything stayed on this channel. Spirit had me change the name, but all the shit from Lula's Labyrinth is still here. So maybe I'll put a link to it. But I mean, I'm like wearing my vintage fur, like this like old leather fur vintage car coat that I had that I was like, I totally like dressed up for her. Like it was like a whole different fucking story. And, you know, and just like I've said before, you know, they're just people. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. And, or, you know, maybe they jump into their pants. I don't know, but you get the picture, right? They're just people. They're just people who, by luck of the draw or by, you know, there's never by chance, you know, spirit, even the quote unquote shitty celebrities or and trust me, I won't call them out by name. I used to, but I'm not going to do it anymore. But, you know, I lived and worked in, Los Angeles area and in Los Angeles proper for, almost 10 years. And, it was a very cool experience and I loved it. But I also learned so much about people and celebrities, and I've watched paparazzi. I just got to, I got the greatest fucking gift. I had the best seat in the house to witness humanity in its fullest, you know, at that point where I was in my, you know, in my consciousness. And, I mean, I can go on and on and on, and maybe I'll do my next Tallulah talk about that because I'm starting to have a lot of epiphanies right now. And if you aren't familiar with my other channel, Lula's Life, there's a link below to that, on my main page and in my other channels up in the tabs. Anything you want to find about me, or if you want to contact me, or you want to work with me in any capacity, I don't, you know, I say readings, but I do so much more than that, you know, like I'm a healer. So I heal people from, well, I don't fucking do shit. You are the healer. You can only heal yourself, but I'm the facilitator. And I have been studying with different types of facilitators, shamans, you know, maybe I'll just start calling them facilitators. But you know, it's just been this really cool, ongoing process, which is why this wellness library, when it came into my orbit, lemongrass, by the way, Spirit wants us to work with lemongrass. So work with lemongrass. I don't work for doTERRA. I just am blessed to have people that do, and we do trade. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jules. So in this, we're going to work with this today. It's got three oracle decks: positive vibes, good deeds, and stress less. 150 ways to slow down, stay inspired, and serve those around you. How are you guys doing? Are you keeping up with the, remember when Spirit asked us for 7 days straight in the morning meditation or in our night meditation, we say, how may I, or how can I serve? And how can I help? Two sentences. Write them down, pause right now, write it down. You know, I used to give everything up front and I didn't understand what was going on. You know, I mean, I knew I was meant to do that at the time, but now Spirit is like, no, it's for you to add to your wellness library. I keep books, I keep journals, you know, I am constantly writing things down, or if I'm going to watch something, I put in a watch later list, which then I go through with Spirit and my pendulum and I delete the things I haven't watched, you know, because if you haven't watched it, you know, it doesn't mean you won't watch it. It just means sometimes like that was for a certain time, but you received a lesson somewhere else, just fucking delete it. Because whether you are in the northern or southern hemisphere, both of, you know, our family consists of both. No matter which one you are in, you are either in spring or fall, and those are transformational seasons. And in real time, we are in the last month of that transformational season. And even though it's exciting, like, oh yeah, summer's here, I can't wait. Or for some of you in the Southern Hemisphere, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't wait for winter. I want everyone to be quiet and get still and chill out, you know, whatever stage you're in, you know, or maybe you worked your ass off in the spring and you're like, oh, cool. Like this is, you know, going to be my, oops, I didn't see, I wasn't paying attention. This is going to be my summer, you know, for this, or my summer for that. I just heard the summer of love for some of you. The summer of love. You know, maybe it's to get out into the forest. I picked up this rock because it looked like there was, doesn't it look like there's a lot of hearts in there? My husband and I, we got that on our 8th wedding anniversary. We were on the Pacific coast. We went to the Tree of Life. And anyway, most of these rocks and everything you see before you is either from Cape Flattery, Lake Crescent, the Tree of Life, and the 1,000-year-old cedar tree. Lots of magic in front of you. So take those adventures. My throat's starting to speak your truth and take those adventures. But they wanted me to speak about the lemongrass. It's really important for some of you. Get real lemongrass if you can, to burn it. It would be really good for you, because I know not everybody has access to this, you know. I know not everybody has access to that. So, you know, and even so, it's like everything that we have is what we need. So there could be things around you that, like, maybe there's something else that works for you. Maybe it's sage, maybe, you know, but the lemongrass, I feel like if you can acquire some and burn it, that would be really good. I'm hearing to do like end of spring, you know, if you do a spring cleaning, a lot of people like, right, like the first rush of good weather, I'm talking about Northern Hemisphere, or anybody, right, whether you're Northern or Southern, but that rush of energy where the seasons are changing and you're like, yeah, I want to, you know, oh, let's open the windows, winter's over. Oh gosh, it always feels so good outside. Oh, I feel that fresh air coming through, you know. I live in all 4 seasons, so for me, that's like a serious, you know, that gives me positive vibes. But we need that breath of fresh air. We need that change. We need it. It's part of us, because we need to clear out the cobwebs. We need to burn away that which no longer serves us so we can move forward. And I feel like this new moon, or this moon cycle, and that started 2 days before Gemini season, the new moon was in Taurus. I feel like they're extending, I feel like this year, the way that things have been going, it's almost like we're getting, and it will continue for a while like this, where we're getting these like extensions of energy. You know, I've been speaking about this because Spirit keeps, I wish I could put you in my head to like give you like the visual, but it's kind of cool what they're showing me. But it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, we had, if you've been following these, and you know, it's like the way that the moons have been falling with, it's like they're playing catch up with each other. You know, where it's going to come to a point, right, where it's like, oh, cool. You know, it's like in a full, everything's going to be in that cycle again. And then it'll start over. There's a lot of shit. I don't want to, you know, also, astrology has been coming to me like crazy, to the point where I was like, I will study whatever you want me to study. I will do whatever you want me to do. By the way, this huge amethyst wants to come in. I said to Spirit, I will do whatever, you know. I'm not one to, whatever, man, you just tell me what to do, I will do it. But no, I kept getting this energy of, you know, we need to, like, you know, hurry up and wait, you know, that energy, hurry up and wait. And we're so close, so many of us are so close to the next chapter that it's just like any other thing, right? Like when you're reading something, you're at a chapter, or like it's getting, like the book is getting good, and then all of a sudden you have to go and you can't, you know, continue reading because you have to go pick up the kids, or you have to go to work, or whatever it is. Everybody has something they have to do, right? Like you're going to see a movie with someone and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta go, you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad, because this good and bad thing is what they're trying to shake up inside of us, right? This hidden fire of, like, there's all these different emotions of rage, anxiety. We're trying to we're filtering over from one massive, you know, generational energy, thousands and thousands of years of this very heavy patriarchal driven energy, and now we're going back into, you know, the balance, and the divine feminine is coming in, and not everybody's having it. So when we have these change of seasons, you know, there's 3 months to each season, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, I lived in Los Angeles for a long time. At one point I lived, I think 8.5 years, no, I think I lived 7 years straight, or almost 8 years straight, you know, so I had to leave because I was like, I feel fucking crazy. Like I need seasons again, man. Like I'm like, I need winter. Or I need, you know, I got to figure out where I want to live. I was from Chicago. I knew I didn't want to live back there. I tried doing that. It didn't work. And so I ended up exactly where I'm supposed to be. And now I love it. I love, like, you know, the way the weather changes here. It's a little nuts, a little schizophrenic, but I love it because it teaches me so much. And I just, exactly, wellness. I feel like I can really heal here, you know, and I can really work with the different seasons and see what they feel like and go through the transition and watch nature. We've now been in this spot for almost, 4 full seasons. Well, actually, we've been in here 4 full seasons. We moved here in summer, and now we are in spring. So now we've lived here 4 full seasons. And it's been really cool to see how it looks, how it changes, how it's evolving, how it's growing. It's beautiful. It's and it's so neat because where we've been living, I lived in all these different places in Oregon and in Washington. I've basically been making my way up to the Olympic Peninsula since I moved to Portland 12 years ago. And it's just been really cool. I got to live on the Columbia River. I got to live in all, like, I basically made my way all the way up. I lived in Yelm and the Olympia area at the bottom of the Sound. I got to travel to the east, up to Seattle, you know, the Hood Canal, learned so much about, the west side of Washington. Got to drive, you know, all through Oregon, up and down, you know, Washington to see what it's like, you know. And to see those changes is really exciting because it just shows you, nature shows you just how much it changes and it evolves and grows. And we are just a reflection of nature. We come from this earth. We're a reflection of nature, literally. We are them and they are us. And I had this really great divine pleasure to go to Cape Flattery. I believe it was 8 years ago. It was 7 or 8 years ago was the first time I went. And now I went again just recently and just was blown in my mind to see how different and how weathered. It was like almost like a different place. And I said, we need to find my old, like, you know, little SD cards and stuff. I'm like, we need to go through and look at all of, like, I can't wait to like document everything. At one point, I'm gonna literally hire somebody to go through, because I've taken millions. Well, maybe not millions, but I don't think I'm exaggerating by saying I've taken 1 million pictures since I've moved to the Pacific Northwest. I don't think that's literally, I really don't, I know that may sound psycho to some people, but yeah, you know, especially because I take a lot of things outdoors and I may take 10 to 12 shots of something because of the lighting. I can't really see how it's hitting the camera or whatever. And then when I get them back, I took like 12 phenomenal shots and they're all different. And I'm like, I can't choose. I can't do it. You know, I'm like, I need an assistant. I need somebody who loves to do that shit. That's like, I will sit in front of that fucking computer. You know, I don't want someone to hurt their eyes, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that would love to do that. Eventually I will do that. But just to see how much it's grown and changed, I can't wait to go back and look at it. And then like see like the timestamp to be like, oh wow, that was in the fall and this is in the spring now, you know. It's just life in general is just beautiful, and we are the same. You know, I've been out in the sun a lot in the last week, and I'm not kidding you. I looked in the mirror, I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, I look like I've aged 10 years. And I've been really lazy about sunscreen, and I've got to work with that. And I know there's a lot of good organic ones out there. I was like, speaking of, I got to call Jules and be like, Jules, she probably can whip me up something. But seriously, I just had this moment with Spirit, but then they showed me like what I will look like in my 80s. And I just got excited that I'm going to be here in my 80s. And I never thought I'd ever say that, ever. And it's taken me many moons and many, many, many adventures and relationships. And I wouldn't trade anything or anyone. I love all of you so much. Thank you so much for everything you bring to my life. I'm in gratitude for everything you've done for me. Thank you for walking with me, supporting me, praying for me, everything you've done for me. I would not be here without you, and you know this. Oh, look at that, right? Because that 1,000-year-old tree, finally the top of it fell. It's still alive, but it got hit by lightning because it was so big and it was so tall, and it was the only one that was standing above all the other trees. So the lightning got it, you know what? It was happy. It was tired of looking up above. It wanted to come back down to earth and relax and breathe. It didn't want to feel the storms and go through all that anymore. All of their brethren, you know. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, I told Alder, I said, I cannot wait. You guys, so many things are coming down the pipeline. All I can tell you is just hold on, stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. We'll keep this fucking algorithm or whatever this is rolling to, you know, so our tribe can grow and grow and grow, because I can feel it now. I am building an empire. I've known it for my whole entire life, but like I can really feel it now. I feel strong. I know what I'm meant to do. I know there's so many things that I will share with you at one point, but it's not going to be right now or today. Can I show you this little guy though? This one was one of my favorites when we were out. I saw it there and I said, it looks like a little potato, but I just love rocks. And I love I mean, look at that. And if I had left it there, it would probably form into something even bigger. But I got the vibe that it really wanted to. It almost looks like a boomerang too. So for our Down Under family, maybe that's a sign for you. Because I wanted to say, I always say Down Under because there's many countries and, you know, worlds going on down there. But I definitely did hear Australia. So if that means anything, but I do feel like it's for somebody in our tribe that's in the Southern Hemisphere. I don't feel like it's for someone like as a sign like, oh, you should go there. I feel like it's somebody from there, or maybe you were born there and you want to go back there, you know, and you became American, but you really feel there's some type of tie there. Ooh, I just got the chills. There's some type of tie there. A lot of Aboriginal old medicine, you know, maybe you stumbled upon this, you know, whenever I put these out into the world, I always say to Spirit, please let these, you know, let this reading be seen by everybody who needs it, you know, like whatever's in their greatest and highest good. So I really hope that even if you just watch this episode, I hope that this helps you in any way. Yeah, because there's so much happening and they want us to be present for it. They want us to stay grounded because the Gemini energy will get us all spun out, right? That air energy. My husband's a triple Gemini and I've had to like just keep it together. Also, from the 21st to the 28th, thank you, Marin Altman, I believe is her name. I did a shorts for her on Lula's life. Because I was like, oh, that's why I feel batshit crazy. So basically, from May 21st to the 28th, so whenever you watch this in real time, it's the 27th, so we're at the end of it. But if you watch this, you may be like, that's why the last week was fucking crazy. But yeah, she's really amazing. But apparently, Mars and Pluto were not having a good time. They were mashing it up. So I said to Spirit, with so much aggression, I have to tell you as well, because they're laughing and I'm laughing because I was kind of aggressive about it. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm like, I am going to study astrology because I feel like I would understand life more. I feel like I would be able to, you know, avoid these fucking potholes. I feel like I would be able to, you know, and they're like, shh, calm down, little one. 2258, angel number forever. And then it was 23 and then 1. So I feel like for somebody, it's either the number 23 you've been seeing a lot, which is also the number 5, which is change and transformation, or you are 23 and it was 0-1. So it could be that you're at the beginning of something and Spirit is saying all of us are at the beginning of something, right? That's 2301. It's about change and transformation and new beginnings. We must believe it though. And staying in a high vibration is the hardest part, right? Like right now, I want to talk to you. I'm like grounded in earth, and then all of a sudden it's like the air is like, woo! It's like, yay! I found this feather. I don't remember now. We've been on so many adventures this week, and Spirit's put some really cool feathers in my wake, and some where it was like, I'm like, we were deep in the woods, so I don't even know what bird they are, but yeah, so we honor the Gemini and the air energy. They just don't want us to get so lost in it that we fucking lose our mind. And with the Pluto and Mars, you know, fighting each other, I can tell you this. I will grab my notes while we're talking about it. Also, basically, the third phase is about taking action, and Spirit is saying, where do we need to take action at this time? And when I was putting this together, I was like, I feel so anxious. I feel so, and Spirit goes, because air energy makes us anxious. So, especially to the empaths, we cannot stand here and act like these things don't apply to us when they do. They apply to us. The energy applies to us, sensitives, empaths. If you're here, you know what I'm talking about. Also, Grandmother Spider has been everywhere, and I know it's that time of year, but also she is really trying to get us to connect with ourselves, with others. They're saying, don't stop fighting it. Don't stop fighting your intuition. If you have a shitty vibe about somebody, they fucking suck. I know that sucks. I'm ripping that Band-Aid off for you. I've been there. I know. I had to stop talking to people, friends and family, because I'm having one conversation with them, but I can literally hear them. If you are like me and you're a telepath and you can hear other people's thoughts, every one of us are a telepath, by the way. It's just whether or not you're tapped into it. So if somebody is open and you have a really close relationship, I would literally have conversations with my friends. I would be standing there, and I had this one friend where she'd be like, I fucking hate you. And I'd be like, what? And I would like stop and look at them, and I'd see them kind of stop too. Like, did she just hear me? Like, I literally would see that, like the fucking dog tilt the head. Like, did they, what? I can tell you, family members, friends, my whole life. And then it just took me years to realize that they were jealous of me. They were envious of me. I fucking even hate saying that. I hate, you know I do. But I have to put the gook and the darkness out there because it's fucking real. And people are spewing venom at us all the time. We have to just learn how to keep our shields up. And if we feel that or we hear that, literally go, well, I love you. Like, you don't even have, you can either say it back to them and catch them in their fucking, you know what I mean? Well, they'll be like, what? And you'd be like, that's right, I heard what you, and if they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, just be like, it doesn't matter. I love you, you know? And maybe that's how you're going to start the conversation, because you're calling it out. This might even be for one person. And I'm telling you, as another telepath, don't fucking take other people's stuff. It's not yours, but it may take you a while to not, now I don't get upset. If somebody's thinking horrible thoughts about me, I always like take a second and like I'll say to spirit in my mind, like, you know, please give me the words, or, you know, call on your spirit guides, call on your higher self to give you the direction. Don't answer right away, especially if you have somebody who's combative that, like, you know, because some people like to fight. They just want to fucking fight. Lemongrass is really good, but I'm telling you, the lemongrass oil, mix it with something that's super strong. You know, like you can take like this much oil and put one drop, like this much oil. I don't know how you, right? And like one drop, that's a lot, and like shake it up. Or you can take it straight. Like today I took it straight, but on top of like with like, I had like a little pool of oil, and then I put it on there, and then I rubbed it in my hands, and then like smell it in. In fact, I'm going to do, gosh, I'm telling you, we need to invent smell-o-vision. Okay. Try and breathe it in. Just think of lemongrass and what it smells like and just breathe it in. If you've ever smelled lemongrass, you'll know. And if you haven't, now you're going to want to. But the real lemongrass, burning it, is really powerful. It's also a lot of Native American energy, so you may feel some power there. Also, can I show you this? Alder found this on the beach, and I was like, what? Alder's family is from the Skolem tribe from the peninsula, and he has papers, so we're allowed to use these items and pick these items up. And I am also a shaman, so they can't, you know, what they would technically call a shaman. But isn't that amazing? Like, it's so smooth, and then like here, it's like so textured, and like it's just so powerful. Oh, do you see that? I see animals in there. Oh, so whatever animal you, oh my gosh, I see so much in this. So whatever you see in this, whatever animals you see, energy you see, it could be, maybe it's mountains, you know, maybe it's not an animal at all. Oh shit, look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks, I can't stop. I'm sorry, but that looks like a dragon to me. I can't. So anyway, when he picked it up, I was like, are you gonna, like, do you want that for your personal use? He's like, why? I'm like, oh, well, if you do, that's fine. I go, if not, I go, can I use it for the tribe at some point? He's like, oh yeah. And he just like gave it to me. So I was like, yay. So, you know, these kind of readings, you know, I know sometimes it's interesting. Let's put it this way. I get way more people watching the picker readings than I have people watching these. And that's okay. Because I feel like, to me, this is us. Like, this is our true, like, intimate tribe. Like, those who are here to learn. You are the true leaders, right? Like, you're learning. You're probably on your own spiritual, you know, path already as a leader for others. Or people come to you, you know, or you're maybe trying to figure out what that is. And, ooh, that's awesome. Spirit asked me to do that. Look at that energy coming towards you. So Spirit is saying, you know, you're not alone. You're not alone. And they're saying, I see you. I see you, right? I have a poem on Lula's life. If you go and look in my poems or whatever, it's called ICU, that was written basically, I felt like, by spirit. But it was the first time, actually, let's put it this way. The first time I wrote it was for my husband. It was a birthday present for him. And then Spirit asked me to put it out into the universe because it was important for others to hear those words as well. So it's really beautiful. So we're going to talk about Pluto, and we're going to talk about Mars, and then we're going to dive into the wellness library. But yeah, you are meant to, I feel like when people who watch these readings, you are meant to be a leader and a teacher as well. Even if it's just like by example. Like you don't have to teach a classroom or have a channel or whatever. Speaking of, just so you know, I am absolutely positively going to be doing something this year. I don't know when, but we've been talking about this. We've done this before where we've tried to do Zoom or we've tried to do, live things like that. So I believe Spirit is going to have me start doing more workshops. And I will let you know when that happens, and those will be paid. You will have to, pay for those, but they're worth it. And also you'll have the link so you can always go back to it. I don't know what the price is going to be yet. Usually they hover somewhere between $20 and $25 a person, but they can last anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours. I mean, they're usually chock filled with so much information that $20 is like taking a 6-week course sometimes that you pay $200 for at a local, you know what I mean? So seriously, we usually cover a lot of ground. So just a little FYI to put that out there. Make sure you do subscribe so you don't like miss those when I put them out there, or the shorts. It'll probably come out on a shorts because that grabs more attention for people to let them know that we're doing, because not everybody comes into these. But same time, Spirit will lead people where they need to go when it's time to go there. So Mars is about physical energy. It's fiery. It's, Mars is the planet of war too, so we need to remember that when we have something like that against, Pluto, which is about rebirth, regeneration, it's about being like, it's basically about being in our bodies and the death and rebirth. It's about the unconscious. So when you have physical energy, fiery, sexy, like there's a lot of things going on there. And then you've got rebirth. There could be something going on there. I told Alder, just research it on your own, okay? I'm literally reading you things that I wrote a long time ago, and I'm just kind of taking what Spirit says. But please research it, because it may make a lot of sense to you if you had some fallings out this week, or if you've been like feeling not like yourself. I mean, I've been crying to the point where I'm like, on Alder's little birthday outing, we went to Cape Flattery because his birthday, is tomorrow on Sunday, Memorial Day. We don't like to really do much. There is a festival we might go to tomorrow, depending on how we feel. But anyway, any hoops, as Elise Myers would say. I'm stealing that because it's so cute. Or maybe I'll just start going, any hoo, and bring in the owl energy. But seriously, if you haven't checked out Elise Myers, please do. She's so amazing. Yeah, there's just a lot happening with each of us individually, and I feel as if Spirit wants us to do, I don't know, let me ask them really quickly. Do we want to do an extension picker reading from any of these cards? Okay. So we got about 10 or 12 minutes left. I've just gone on so many adventures. I haven't cleaned out my phone as much as I'd like to. Drink some water. Okay, are we going to read from Stress Less today? Is it in Anyone's Greatest Night is Good? Okay, we're going to read from Stress Less. Are we going to read from Positive Vibes today? No, but they will say this. If you haven't been doing it, if you have been doing it, they said, I'm going to start with that first, because for those of you who have been staying in the high vibration, they see you, they recognize you, and they're saying, see, isn't your life better? Aren't you better? Because like, even when things are falling apart, they're falling together. So Spirit is saying, we just stay in a high vibration as much as possible and stay in love as much as possible, because it's the love that we need. That's why it's those little hearts there. Oh, did you see a little fairy fly into the camera? Right? It's the love. It's the love. The love boat, right? That's what they want us to understand, that we need to just keep riding the love boat and staying in a good vibration. And for those of you who are going into summer and dread summer because the energy is just too intense, Spirit hears you and feels you and sees you. And they said, you can make this summer anything you want it to be. And I will tell you from experience growing up in big neighborhoods, big families, big cities. I can tell you that I have had some of the best summers of my life where I have like been away from everybody and been in nature and not around people. And it's like changed everything in my life. And I have some of the most amazing conversations with people. I mean, you know, let me tell you, in all the excursions that we've taken over the last few weeks, there was only one pill that stood out. And you know what? You do you, boo. Like, she was dealing with, you know, I say she because she was giving off a very strong feminine energy. But there was a masculine energy that was like suffocating her, that wasn't allowing her to be who she was. And just watching her whole thing and like what I am, I can't deny or, you know, disregard like what was happening. And I just sent her love. I just sent her love because it wasn't towards me. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with me. I didn't know that person. I wasn't in their way, nothing, you know. It was me being kind and them being unkind. And that is on them. But other than that, I had so many good experiences with so many people. And there's a lot of really, you know, cool people out in the world. I met a lot of different people from different cultures, different countries. So, you know, going out into the world in the summer can be really great. But also for our Southern Hemisphere family, you know, maybe winter, you're like, yeah, I am done. Like, I need some space. And Spirit's like, they hear you. And you do what you got to do. Okay, so right out the gate, I got 2. Now, I wasn't sure if this was going to be just like for one of us, all of us, so I guess we'll see what happens. But the first one is at the end. Let me put this here and get it in focus. At the end of each day, write down 5 things that you're thankful for. Yes, this is the Stress Less deck in the Wellness Library. So for us to, this is where we need to take action. We need, number 1, we need to stress less. Number 2, we need to trust, because stress less is the deck and trust was the key word that they gave me for this reading. And we must trust that Spirit has our back. We must. I know I have it too. I have it too. I go through it too. And they understand, but we're allowed to get mad and have our temper tantrum and go stomp our feet. That's okay. But then we come back and we laugh and go, I can't wait to see what you're going to do for me, Spirit. Like, have that energy. And if you're still stuck in something, or if you say, I can't do this anymore, this came up in a reading for me lately and it fucking stung like a bee in my heart. And I knew I had to take it. So I'm going to share it with you. If you tell Spirit that you can't do something, they're going to keep bringing it to you. So I've been saying, I can't live like this anymore. I don't want to live off the grid anymore. Oh, you think that hasn't happened? Oh, you know it has, right? So now I'm like, I can handle this. I fucking handle this. I've been handling this. I've been handling this like a fucking boss for almost a year. I have been home free for nearly a year. And growing up the way I did, and the little prima donna, and my 3 walk-in closets of my vintage clothes, my 55 vintage clothes. Hey, I still miss her. She's still in there. She'll probably come back around. But you know what? I had to go through all of this stuff because of, and it's because of the gratitude that I got this far. Because every time I get through a hardship, Spirit blesses me with a really awesome thing. I'm like, blesses me. They do. They bless me with something awesome, right? So I'm going to put this in front of the lemongrass and in front of the hearts. Okay? At the end of each day, your mission, should you choose to accept it, for at least a week, like we did with the last 2, right? Like, so for those of you who are just starting this reading, we're going to start from today, and these are going to be your mission, should you choose to accept it, for the next 7 days, because it takes 7 days for something to sink in. Really 30 days for it to become a habit, but 7 days for it to sink in, and you start to notice when you go away from it that you miss it, okay? So for 7 days, wake up every morning or at night before you go to bed, whatever's good for you. The last 10 minutes you're laying there, it's your time. Nobody can take it from you. And you say to Spirit, how can I help? How can I serve? And then write down 5 things you're thankful for before you go to bed, or 5 things when you wake up in the morning. Write down 5 things you're thankful for. I don't care if you write the same 5 things every day. But I'm sure they'll start changing, because you'll start realizing how much gratitude you are in for this, for that. Because gratitude goes a long way. And Spirit responds to gratitude, because gratitude is part of love, and love, we are all energy. And that's what Spirit's trying to say to you right now. I feel like this little light hitting off this like crystal back here too. This is a green onyx. So for some of you, if you can work with green onyx, it's not rare, but like, anyway, work with green onyx if you're called to, okay? Also, this one, we're going to go to the second one. It's upside down. So let's see. So stress less. Wake up early to watch the sunrise. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I just spoke about this. I don't know in which Tallulah talk, and there's a few that I haven't posted yet that I'm going to post probably this weekend, I believe, or in the next week or so. But one of them is because I had a bone to pick with Sadhguru. I had 2 bones to pick with Sadhguru, and one of them was about this. And the reason why it was in reverse is because it says, wake up early to watch the sunrise. If you are a morning person. If you are a night person, Spirit is saying, take a day, find out when the sun is setting, and they want you to go to your favorite place and watch the sun set. And maybe do both. Maybe go on vacation, watch the sunset. Maybe look at when the sun rises, put your alarm on a little bit before. It's going to, if it says it's going to, rise at 6:54, then put your thing on at 6:30. Get your, you can put your jammies on or whatever you're wearing and put your robe on and your slippers and you go outside and you have your favorite cup of whatever and you watch the sunrise. But I had the bone to pick with him because he said a productive person, I'm paraphrasing, but he went to this whole thing about like basically a productive person and a successful person gets up early. He said he gets up every day at 3:40. He does yoga. And I've been realizing that, and he's saying, I've known since I was 4, I was this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Sadhguru, my friend. I look up to you like no other. And 98% of the time, I am like bowing to this energy and entity. However, there's this 2% where I'm like, you need to back up because not everybody is like you and not everybody was put on this earth. My husband was born on a Sunday. He loves the morning, loves it. You know how we've survived this long in these tiny homes? For those of you who are wondering how we haven't killed each other, it's because I am a night person. I was born on a Monday, on a moon day, and he is a day person. Again, 98% of the time, he wakes up anywhere from an hour to 3 hours before I do. I'm sleeping, I'm quiet, the house is quiet, he can have time to himself, he can meditate, he loves being quiet. He's a triple Gemini, he loves the quiet, but his sun's in Sagittarius, and I'm a triple Sag, and my moon's in Scorpio, and we found the balance. So we must all find the balance in ourselves, and if you are not a morning person, there is nothing wrong with that. You just need to figure out a way that you can, have a work schedule or whatever it is, provide for your family or whatever you do. It's about working together. Also, this was on the bottom of the deck, and since I only have about 2 minutes left, I believe this is the last one. Now, listen, Spirit's saying you don't have to do all these things all at once. You can take you can take one bite at a time. Maybe just start with the first 7 days. You ask Spirit, how can I help? How may I serve? How can I serve? However you want to look. It's your languaging. You don't have to use mine. Whatever works for you. And then for a week, you write down every day 5 things that you're thankful for at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, right? These are just examples. That's what Oracle decks, they're just examples. Even Sadhguru. But I think a lot of people take him at his word, and I think that can be dangerous for somebody who has so much power right now. It's not dangerous, but like not helpful to everybody. Where are we at? Okay. So anyway, so now this is the third. Oh, so this was right. So now we're on, this is the third, this is the fourth thing. Okay. So you do it in any way that feels good, but anything that you could do for 7 days would be great, Spirit's saying. Spend 15 minutes, and you could take screenshots of these and go back. Spend 15 minutes writing a list of everything that's bothering you, then throw the list away. I even would suggest burning it, but make sure you do it in a safe place. I am not a doctor or blah, blah, blah. I can, go into this whole thing about that, right? Because I have a channel, so I'm trying to be responsible here. But I believe burning away, for me personally, I would want to burn it away. If you want to throw it away, that's fine. You do whatever works for you. I've thrown things into the ocean before, I don't recommend that, because you don't want an animal to eat it, but I have done, I've ripped up little teeny tiny pieces of paper. But if you don't feel good doing that, don't do that. I was like, I don't want to speak. Anyway, so that's it. So spend 15 minutes writing a list of everything that's bothering you, then throw it away. Let it go. I've got 15 seconds to wrap this up. Okay. So work with these energies. Okay. whatever is in your greatest and highest good, whatever works for you, okay? Until next time, all of my information is below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, I love you. Bye.